Hey everyone, and welcome to a new episode of He's Not Wrong. I'm your host, Chad D. I'm joined by one of my best friends, Connor Sanburn, and I'm so appreciative that you're here with me, Connor.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Chadwick.
Is this your first podcast?
This is my first podcast. I've been on the radio before, but I've never been on a podcast
That don't
before.
count.
That
don't count.
And another time it did.
That is a category of its own. TV, radio, podcast.
Podcast. I mean, they get Emmys now, so it's a big deal.
And Golden Globes.
I'm thinking of Golden Globes.
You're thinking of Golden Globes.
Well, they get Golden Globes.
It's only a matter of time until they start getting the Emmys
soon.
because now Netflix has all their podcast partnerships. Have you seen those?
I've not seen them. I've not been on Netflix in like 2 months because I use the Netflix family household.
Yep.
And I've been kicked off.
This is a point of contention for me because I've talked about it on the pod before. I hate the fact that we have to record the visual. Like I hate because a podcast is audio. So I want to.
Well, now everything has to be video.
Everything has to be
right?
video, which is a vlog. That's not a podcast.
This is no day in our lives. This is not a day in my life.
No. And shouldn't it be a vodcast, like video podcast? But no, it's a podcast and it has a video aspect to it. Now Netflix has all of their podcast shows on the platform. So it's only a matter of time until the Emmys get involved.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, I'm really appreciative that you're here because there's nothing like having a guest in person. I am so tired of the political podcast. I'm just going to have to say it. We've had a lot of political guests on. There's a lot happening in the world. It gets really heavy and burdensome. And so I need like a palate cleanser.
Well, I just want to commend you on all the work you've been doing politically. I mean, it's been great getting the word out, breaking news things, and interviewing some really incredible folks. So I'm happy to be part of the journey of He's Not Wrong, but also, you know, you've been doing, fighting the good fight. And
Thank you.
Really, really proud of you. And as a friend, like it's really cool to see you, exploring this and crushing it while you're at it.
Oh, Connor, thank you.
I'll request Venmo.
I did not pay. I did not ask you to do that. Everyone, that was off the cuff for him. I did not pay him. No, oh my God, today, everyone who's listened to the podcast has been following the Alabama Power stuff. Mm-hmm. And so we had a major victory a month ago. And I said literally 30 seconds ago, we were going to make this political, and here we are. But
I pay an Alabama Power bill, so I have a right to talk about this.
You get it. And a month ago, we defeated a bill that was silencing our voices and our votes by removing the Public Service Commission from the ballot. Well, yesterday, the Alabama Senate proposed a bill that essentially does the same thing, just in a different way. And they had the committee hearing on it today, and it passed the committee hearing.
Great.
No, it's not great.
No,
it's not
the
great.
opposite.
This is bad.
I'm sorry.
And then it's going to pass the Senate tomorrow. So like the last bill, we thought they made this in a day and they're trying to get it passed in a week. Well, they're like doing it in 3 days this time.
Right.
So I feel a bit defeated. I feel a bit down in the dumps right now. This is like literally has all happened in the past 12 hours. This bill is dropped and it passes committee, and now it's going to the floor of the Senate tomorrow.
Awesome.
Government acts fast when they feel threatened.
And they want it. Yeah.
So the spirits are low. The mood is low. But having you here is gonna boost it back up. No, the bill's bad. The new one is bad because essentially what they're doing is right now the Public Service Commission it's 3 positions that are voted statewide. Mm-hmm. This new bill makes it to where it's going to be 7 positions voted within a congressional district. So you're going to have 7 commissioners based within the congressional districts. But it's phased until 2031. So we elect our 3 public service commissioners statewide in November, but Kay Ivey gets to appoint the other 4 this summer.
Of course Mima does.
And then the bill also establishes an energy secretary that is appointed by the governor that reports to the governor. You know how many votes it takes to override the agenda for the Public Service Commission?
I don't.
5. So you have the energy secretary, you have the 4 appointed by the governor. So effectively, the governor's appointments, which is what the original bill did back in February, governor appointments, which we all did not want, these governor appointments are the majority, and they silence the will of the people, which is the 3 people that we elect in November. So it's not a good bill. It does nothing to address affordability. I'm very upset about this.
Yeah.
And they're going to get away with it.
And then they're going to jack up my bill because they can.
Just when you think that your bill can't get any higher, just wait.
Alabama Power will figure out how to do it.
Just wait. Anywho, that's enough of that. I talk about it a lot on social media, so we're just going to like kill that part of the conversation right now. But talking about social media, you have just like really dove straight on in to the world of TikTok. What made you want to get involved with what it is that you do on TikTok? So tell them about your TikTok, tell them what you do, what you're passionate about, and then we're really just going to get into it.
Yeah. So I started hosting coffee clubs in my apartment about 15 months ago at the start of 2025.
Yep.
And it was a way for me to get to know my neighbors. I talk a lot about that on my TikTok, on Instagram, whatever, that I have, solid family here in Birmingham, good friends, obviously good friends. And I've also got some great extracurriculars around here that I'm involved in, but I did not know the people that live feet from me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to change that. I wasn't, I grew up in a very tight-knit community, small town in Indiana, and thought, I knew all my neighbors. I knew all my grandparents' neighbors. I knew all my friends' neighbors. Like that was just what our community was. And so I thought, why can't I have that here? But it's going to take some effort. I'm going to have to do it myself.
Sure.
So I decided to create these little, I call them postcards, but really they're more like invitations that I would tape to my neighbors' doors.
They have an Italian flair to them. We're gonna have to insert a photo of them.
Yes, exactly. And I'd write the date, time, location, like my apartment, and I would say, hey, I'm gonna make Conecuh sausage biscuits, and I'm gonna make winter spice lattes. And I promise I'm not a crazy person, but I want to get to know you.
Sure.
So I did that in January and only had about 4 people show up to my first one, January 2025. And 4 people showed up. I was like, okay, this feels successful. Like we're growing.
It's a starting point.
This is really cool. And then the next month, I did it again, and we've just kept growing. And then from there, we've started to host different events, like a progressive dinner where we go from one person's apartment to the next person's for appetizers and pre-drink dinner and just stuff like that. It's been so much fun. And then even in over the summer of last year, I'd asked my new neighbors, who really I consider my friends now. I asked them, how can we continue to grow what we're building here? And, how do we get more of the neighborhood involved? Mm-hmm. And so we decided we were going to do a chili cook-off. And so we orchestrated this whole chili cook-off for our street. And I called it our first annual chili cook-off. I ordered trophies. We rented hay to block off parts of the street with. It was, you were there. You won.
I won.
He won. You won. Was it hottest chili or best chili?
It was the best chili.
Best chili.
Yes.
Oh, you should have put your trophy out.
It's in my closet right now.
He won, and it was so funny. I mean, we Rojo, the restaurant sponsored us. Let me
tell them what's in the basket. I got a gift card to a restaurant, a local restaurant, Rojo, for all of those.
Thank you, Rojo.
Yes, thank you very much. Those margaritas were great because they were free. I got a bag of coffee from a local coffee shop known as O. Henry's. For those of you who are listening nationally, and Connor, we are international. So to our international friends, if you ever
ni hao.
Got a bag of coffee from O. Henry's. I got a bottle of wine. I don't know where that's from.
The Pig.
Nice.
Not very international, unfortunately.
It was a really good gift basket.
Good.
Thank you.
And I also thrifted the basket. So
do you want to tell them how many votes I won by?
Was it like
I won by one vote.
One vote,
and I beat you by one vote.
Oh, yeah. I had I make a mean white chicken chili, and so I was really shocked that I lost. But also, if I won, it'd have been a little like.
Do you want to tell them what chili I won with?
It was
a white chicken chili.
It was a white chicken chili, and so I almost drove my car into the crowd.
Anywho, continue.
So we crushed it at our chili cook-off, had a great time, and then we've just been figuring out how to continue to grow community. So I'd actually been able to talk to a few like ex-coworkers of mine when it comes to like my previous jobs here in Birmingham, and we've been talking about building community in Birmingham, and it really just like opened my mind to think of like, well, how can we keep growing community? And maybe could be one of the people at the forefront that helps push something like that, like an agenda like that. I have no idea what that looks like, but I'm on the road to figuring out how to continue to build community in apartment buildings in Birmingham. Say that 5 times fast. But, so I thought I'm just going to go online about this and start talking more about it almost every day as much as I can. So I started TikTok. I haven't been on TikTok in years. And so I got back on, and it's totally addictive. I get why.
You started with zero. You started fresh.
I started fresh.
Yeah.
And the third TikTok I posted blew up. It's like right now it's at like 32,000 views and like 4,000 likes.
Yep.
And I basically explained what I just said, like over the past 4 minutes. I put that into a video, and it's really resonated with people.
We have to talk about that video specifically. We have to talk about that video specifically, Connor, because in that video, you really called me out, and you called out my living space, and you called out where I live. He was really shitting on the 100 unit apartment buildings that post flyers in the elevator. They have these.
Here's the thing, but you have elevators. When I walked in here today, like when I go into your apartment, it like smells good. My apartment needs a good power wash. Like we have a stray cat, all this stuff. Like it's just wonderful.
Let me explain. My anxiety is unmedicated, and that is a problem within and of itself.
Okay.
And so I have 2 cats. The audience knows the cats. They're occasionally co-hosts with me. And I cannot, for the life of me, live in a unit like yours for the sole purpose of the amount that I travel. And if someone was to break in and leave the door open, I would jump off a cliff if those cats got out. Sure. So I will always, as long as Jack and Gray are in my life, I will always live in an interior entry apartment for the sole fact that I am crazy. I have cameras in everywhere in my apartment, so I will know if I'm gone and they get out, they can't leave the interior hallway. And then at that point, Taylor or my property manager can be called and they can be brought back inside. That is why I live in this building. But you did call it out for the community events that they have. They don't talk about them. They don't
call
really
out your building specifically.
No,
I called out every single building.
But you made that video the day after you were at my apartment. So I was just like, that's great. That's great. But I'm not mad about it. It's true. That's why I wanted to on the podcast.
We get a lot of 5/1s in Birmingham and everywhere around here in the country. It's a very popular thing to build, and they all look the same. It's cheap. But at the same time, it provides much needed housing. So there is a bit of a double-edged sword to that conversation. But the way that we build those buildings these days, it's like community is insulated, where we have everything for you, but it's up to you to figure it out.
Yep.
So what I mean by that is I'm at a double negative here with my apartment building, where we don't have amenities like that, like a pool, a gym, a dog spa. We don't have any of that stuff. Nor do we have like a community already having been built. Here, for example, let's say like a typical 5/1, you have that dog spa, you have that yoga room, you have the golf simulator.
Sure.
And you might even have staff at that apartment building that wants to try to get you to know your neighbors. But it's not going to feel authentic because it's not coming from a resident. That's the real difference between.
It feels like you pay an elevated rent, so they're just doing this because they have to. There's not care. There's no thought really put into what it is that they're doing. They're doing it because they have to. Yeah. And they have to report on it. And that's the only reason why those events happen. And no one goes
to shareholders. Exactly.
We also have to talk about that 5/1 concept just for a quick second, because I don't think a lot of people understand just how cheap it is. Because when you have the 5/1, that's 5 floors over like a business floor.
Typically, commercial on the bottom floor, and then 4 to 5 floors of residential.
They can't go above 5 floors, and they won't go above 5 floors if it's wood. Exactly.
Yeah.
So if it's over 5 floors, it has to be steel, concrete, that whole situation. And
that's how they beat it.
And that's how they beat it. They won't go over 5 floors, so they can get away with these wooden structures that are thrown up in a 3-month period.
Brick accents that make it look, try to make it look nice.
Really
and
cheap.
Everything else is the kind of like panel style things that fade. They start to deteriorate after a few years. And then what they'll do is they'll knock them down in 20, 25 years and then rebuild something else cheap there because the loan has expired or the loan has lapsed or it's been paid off on the securitized level. So I am not an urban planner, nor am I work for a massive builder. So I don't know all the terms. So don't come for me in the comments, but like, I know enough to be dangerous.
You're spot on with it.
So it just frustrates me when I see another thing that's like luxury living in you know, the heart of Birmingham. And I'm like, it's granite countertops, but I saw y'all pull that building up in 9 months. That's not luxury.
No, it's not.
I saw you pull up 250 units in 9 months. That thing is rickety.
Luxury is just a marketing word to cover up their shittiness.
Yeah.
Call it what it is.
Yeah.
Anywho, I just really appreciated what you have done for your apartment because you really saw a need and you filled that gap. What has the response been from your neighbors? Because I don't know my neighbors. I don't know my neighbors. I only see them on my security camera because I get alerted whenever they leave their apartment, their unit.
And you run and hide, you know.
Exactly. But no, I don't know my neighbors. I've never gone to a community event here because I don't feel like it's warm. I don't feel like it's lovely or like necessary.
So the staff puts it on.
The staff puts it on.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, the response from my building, again, it's been gradual because it takes time to know these people and you have to build trust.
Yeah.
This is like, I mean, I'm a white man in Birmingham, Alabama. And, you know, when I put a note on a neighbor's door, they're probably like, who is this guy? And why is he writing, I'm not a crazy person? That was one thing I did that was so dumb.
Did you actually write that?
I actually wrote that. I said, here's my Instagram. I promise I'm not crazy.
You have to nowadays.
And you have to, but then also that makes you crazier. So I shouldn't have done that. But the response has been great. I mean, I really feel like we hit a stride when it came around to like April, May timeframe. May was when we held our first progressive dinner. And that was when I got to meet a lot of people and really grow close to them. I mean, I'll be frank, like in my apartment building, I am close to a lot of the folks. You know, there's some folks that come to coffee club that are just engaged or excuse me, they are engaged.
Yeah.
But like don't show up to every event. And that's what's cool. Is like community is not about like how much you put in. It's just like, hey, just know I'm here for you and that you're there for me.
Yeah.
And that has happened with every single person that I have connected with in my building. I have watched, I've helped someone to the ER before. I've picked up mail for folks. I've watched cats. I've you know, taken out trash. I've done a lot for my neighbors.
Yeah.
I've helped unlock doors. It is a weird life to live in an apartment and be really close with your neighbors. But like, I'm so grateful for it because there's times where I'm like, oh my God, I have a package that is like, there's something nice in it and I need someone to pick it up. And like my neighbor's like, got it, done. It's great.
We talk on
I trust them to do that.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. I talk on the podcast a lot about this idea that change starts at the local level, that we can be really inundated with these things that are happening federally and nationally and now internationally. And the news just like is thrown at you so much that it feels impossible to know where to get involved, where to start, where to make change. Yeah. And every single guest that I've had on, whether they're prompted with a question from me or unprompted, they always at some point circle back to this idea of like, you just have to get involved locally and then you'll realize like how big of an impact you can make. And then it snowballs from there. Yeah. And I love how you have essentially just done that and said that, but in a really hyper local sense.
I mean, feet hyper local. Yeah.
Like, but it starts in your apartment building and then you have 50 people who can rely on each other for information and for good deeds. And then that group can go and share the information that they have, the tools that they've learned from you. You can go volunteer as a group. Like you can make a real impact in the community by doing what you're doing. And you are making an impact. And that is just so cool that once again, unprompted, you have just like shown the importance of getting involved locally.
Well, I completely agree with the hyper local piece. I mean, I'm not like involved in like hyper local. I'm not like, you know, like in politics here in Birmingham. I follow politics in Birmingham, but like
don't get involved. It's awful.
But knowing like the politics is just as important. And like, I'm going to stretch here, Your Honor, when I make this claim, but like, you know, the national politics that we have federal level, state level compared to like hyper local, like in our district, in our city, can kind of compare to that community building, right? Where we have the residents starting something as kind of that hyper local, all the way up to like the shareholders of a massive holdings company that own several apartment buildings, where they're instructing them to host this event, to meet shareholder value, to hit KPIs, you know, retention, everything like that. Because it's all about just, you know, churn. You want to make sure every room is full. When you don't really care.
I'm about to expose you. Everyone, he's full of shit. He's running for office, and this is how he's launching his campaign.
Well, I'm really glad you brought me on the pod because I have a special announcement.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm not running for local
But
office.
Everyone, I just have to take a minute and tell Connor, you have to lean in.
Oh.
So, because we have to clip this on social media. We talked about this.
I'm sorry.
And your body was going to get cut off. So there we go. That's much better. Thank you so much. So one thing that we need to discuss is this idea that you call yourself the male Martha Stewart, which I can agree with because you very much view hosting as an act of love. And that is a very Martha Stewart thing. That love is in the intention, is in the intentionality of the placement settings, of the food, of the prep work that goes into hosting an event. So you call yourself Martha Stewart, the male Martha Stewart. Yeah. But
I would say I'm more the wannabe male Martha Stewart. I only started calling myself that recently because it was just really funny.
Sure.
And then I thought, damn, this actually makes a lot of sense. I love to host. I wear a lot of pastels. Not today, obviously, but you know, I call a lot of people honey, and you know, just I don't have a cool demeanor that she does, but I want to achieve a level of having it all like she has. It's like inspiring. I mean, without the jail time, obviously, I don't want to commit insider trading, but like want to hit all of that.
I want to be wealthy enough to where like it's a possibility.
Like insider trading rumors. Yeah. Hey, that's a great. I like that. I don't want to commit insider trading, but I want to be
wealthy enough to where that it would actually make sense and you'd believe it. If I was accused of insider trading right now, everyone would laugh because, you know, that's just not a possibility.
Yeah.
But I aspire for that kind of wealth. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I would argue you're like a male Ina Garten. Thoughts?
Am I growing the hair out for it? Well, Jeffrey, he's in the garden, you know, so.
Exactly. He's never anywhere. Yeah. We're going to talk about Jeffrey in a little bit.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, I think for me, like I grew up probably more with Martha Stewart than with Ina Garten. My mom didn't buy, you know, Martha Stewart Living or anything like that, or like Arc Digest or anything. We had like AAA and AARP magazines and highlights. That was what I grew up on. So for me, it was, you know, that was a luxury to learn about in high school.
Highlights. I don't know if you had this in the cornfield that you're from, but no, I'm kidding.
Hey, there's more than corn in Indiana.
Connor's from Indiana. I distinctly remember it was maybe 25 years ago.
Okay.
And I really hate I despise the fact that I can tell stories and be like, I remember 25 years ago and like have a vivid memory of it.
Too.
But it was about 25 years ago. We had someone walking our neighborhood and they were selling magazines. And if you sign up and buy a magazine, you'll get like a free mug with your subscription, whatever. And my mom did it. She like bought the magazine for the free mug. 25 years later, we still do not have the magazine and we still do not have the mug. And I occasionally think about that. I think about like my mom, my sweet little mom, just like opening the door to this like person who was like hustling.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. And that's why Martha got into jail.
That's why she's in jail.
That is why she was in
her
jail.
Insider trading.
Or house arrest, I should say.
Yeah. Her very nice.
Anyways, you said highlights and it just reminded me of.
Brought you right back.
Yes. Yeah. Cindy still does not have that magazine.
Oh my gosh. We got to get her that magazine, whatever magazine it was.
I have to ask her. I'm sure she remembers because she thinks about it too. She'll occasionally bring it up.
Well, I think for me, it's like the Ina Garten versus Martha Stewart of it all. Like I relate a lot to Martha Stewart in the sense of like, I want to get to that level of like, she's just like incredible.
I feel like you have the attitude and the energy and the personality of Ina Garten, but you have the work ethic the eye to detail and the intentionality of Martha
Stewart. Can you say that again into my microphone? That's a really nice compliment. Thank you.
I'm just saying.
But it's just like, I feel like there's a level to it that you know, you have to like what you're doing, and those two love it.
Yeah.
And I really am inspired by those two women. And like when Ina Garden came to Birmingham in February, I was not able to get tickets because it sold out like that. But I was like, you know, outside the theater, like crying on my knees. But you know,
sure,
it's just they're just such cool people and inspiring business folks and just people in general.
I love that your inspiration is like rooted in Martha Stewart and the things that you saw her do
just
and growing up.
Creating memories and creating like, you know, I don't know. I grew up in a really good family who, a tight knit, big family. Like I have like 23 cousins, and then my dad has like 7 siblings. Like I grew up in a really big family.
Sure.
And so Christmas and Thanksgiving and 4th of July and everyone's birthday was a big deal. And it was just really fun because everyone was together. And there was always some kind of like signature drink, or like, hey, we're always having the Ramakis at Christmas, or we're always going to have, you know, the Perry's, you know, boozy eggnog at Christmas, just things like that. Like things I just remember from my childhood. And then same thing with chili cook-off. Like we grew up having a chili cook-off on our street. My parents would host that ever since I can remember. And so it's just like, if anything, like I'm just recreating what I'm nostalgic for.
Sure. Oh, sure.
So like, especially with the chili cook-off, like I was beaming the whole day because I was like, look at what we've done. I'm so proud of my community, but I'm also just so excited to recreate this moment because it feels like what we did when I was a kid, you know? And I want to do that for other people so they can say like, oh man, when I lived on this street, we had this great community where we did this, and they want to recreate that for their kids or for their new neighbors. Like I'm not just, I mean, yeah, like if I can do some work with some apartment communities in Birmingham or wherever else, that's awesome. But like, if anything, I want to help other people build community for themselves and for their futures.
Connor, I'm not going to tell you again. Look at the monitor. Lean in. Lean in, Connor. Get with it, Connor. No, are
we good now? Are we happy?
Yes, we're good. Okay. We're good. And to the people that I don't want watching the podcast that are watching the podcast, you're welcome. No, Connor is as pure as he's coming across in this episode so far. And it just makes me smile because I also grew up in a really, really large family. But like I don't want to say we were all really close. My cousins are my siblings. I love them with all my heart. Aunts, uncles would parent us because like we were that close with them. And it was always like, it was just
same. Yeah,
it was great. But there was also a level of competitiveness because if you wanted to make it in my family, you could not be afraid to like speak or insert yourself or like.
It's so true. Same here.
And so we always knew when cousins would, or is that the one, or are they going to like dump them at some point? Because the test was coming to our family.
Yes.
Were they able to insert themselves in the kitchen, or would they sit back?
Yeah.
And
you wouldn't believe it. We still have we still talk about those exes that cousins would bring to Christmas or Thanksgiving.
We're like, we knew.
Do you remember when
he
said that 14 years ago? Remember when he tackled our little cousin at, you know, flag football back in 2012? We still talk about those things.
You know what?
We do not give people any mercy.
So Connor's inspiration is his family, Martha Stewart, and I'm over here. I had to take a semester off my freshman year of college, and my brother looked at me and goes, you're not going to graduate in 4 years. I said, watch. And so I took a semester off and I still graduated within 4 years. I actually graduated in 3.5 from college. I'm like, that's the kind thank you. 10 years later, I look back and I'm like, wow, my inspiration was really like competitiveness with people. That's like horrible. I really need to go to therapy from this episode that I'm like talking about my anxiety. Yes, exactly. I have the money for the equipment. I don't have the money to pay a therapist. Yes, exactly.
This is a one time. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. What I'm curious about is a time, because I know we all can like think back to a moment that just really inspired us and lit that fire to set us on the path that we're on now. Mm-hmm. So I'm just wondering if there's a specific moment where you just felt welcomed by someone, or at an event, or by a person, or whatever it may be. Because whenever I come to your apartment, whenever you plan an event, he does these elaborate invitations and group text messages and individual text messages and follow-ups and calendar invites, all for a dinner party that 10 people show up to. Like the intentionality is there. And from the second you walk into your apartment, you feel welcomed. And so I'm just wondering what inspiring moment for you was that when someone just made you feel that welcome?
Honestly, it's not to keep harping on it, but it's probably like the chili cook-offs I grew up helping my parents host. I mean, we shared a driveway with our neighbors, the Yorks. Shout out the Yorks. And what we would do is we'd like block the whole thing off, and we would set up a ton of tables. We'd have a big TV outside for like whatever football game was on that night. And mind you, we could host chili cook-off in the fall because we were in the Midwest, not in the South, where every Saturday here is God's Day.
Oh my God. My brother did a chili cook-off here for a nonprofit a few years ago, and it was like on March 2nd, and it was like 92 degrees.
Here?
Yes. It was like the big chili cook-off it used to be over there by
the Excellence Foundation, or the Exceptional Foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was like
great.
always somewhere between March 1st and 7th.
hot.
And it was so hot. You're eating chili in 90-degree weather.
Gross.
It's awful. I'm so happy that you have your chili cook-off in the fall. Anywho.
Yeah. Well, I hosted mine this fall, and
Yep.
I knew, because just of football schedules here in the South, it just is not going to be
Connor, lean in.
It's not going to be great for anybody. It's not going to be great for anybody. But when I grew up, there was probably like Ohio State or IU on or whatever that night, but there would be like 100 people that would come to this, like maybe like 100, 150. I think I was a kid, so like people were bigger. They felt like there was a lot of people. But I just feel nostalgic for it, that like I remember it just smelling so good and everyone just being so welcoming and kind. And what I remember the most about it was everyone would stand in a circle in the big driveway, and my parents would be like, okay, like everyone, we're going to like introduce ourselves, but we're going to go through the alphabet. So like, we're going to start with the A's, shout out like who you are by starting with your last name and what you brought. And so you'd be like, hey, we're the Arnett's, we brought cornbread and white chicken chili. And then the next A would go and then say, okay, B. And then you go. And so it was a fun way to like introduce everybody. We still do that at every family gathering. Almost every family gathering, but like we always stand in a circle.
That literally feels like an episode of The Middle.
The Middle was my life. The way that like we joke about it, we're like, hey, so how did they get cameras in our family, in like our family room? Because this show is our life.
Yep.
Like, that's a great show. I should rewatch that. But that for me was that act was great. And we still do the circling up, and like someone always has a big grand announcement, like here's where the silverware is, here's where the beautiful Cokes and Diet Cokes are going to be. My mom once said that at an event, where the beautiful Cokes and beautiful Diet Cokes were going to be, and that's a family joke we say now. But I really got it all from my parents. I think my mom is like a master host, and she has the hosting closet and cabinet and everything like that. And I'm just like, every time I come home, I'm like, when you don't want those Longaburgers anymore, I want those Longaburger baskets. When you don't want that dish anymore, I want that dish. When you're done with your Pampered Chef, I want your Pampered Chef. For everyone who knows 90s stuff, Longaburger and Pampered Chef will stand the test of time.
I have not heard of Longaburger.
Longaburger.
Longaburger?
Like long, a burger.
Longaburger. What's that?
So it's a really beautifully woven basket from the 90s. You should look up
I'm looking it up now.
I think they were like in Canton, Ohio. Their headquarters was a big Longaburger basket. They built their building in the style of a basket. They are
okay.
Fabulous.
Got it.
They're so old school, but like I think they look really cute, and I just got a ton of them recently, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, that's really, that time for me is so nostalgic, and really like it. When I think back on what really started it for me, was probably that.
Yeah.
It makes me want to continue doing this, because wherever I've gone, I've always tried to be as welcoming for folks as much as possible. Whether it was hosting a quick little gathering in my apartment, or when I was in the Sigma Chi in college and we had a date party or something, I'm just like trying to make sure everyone's having a good time. And I just don't like, there's that one person in the back corner who feels unwelcomed, and you're like, we got to fix this.
Sure.
Fix this. So
sure.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of you being like the house mom for your fraternity.
Literally. I'm like the Anna Faris of Sigma Chi.
That is so funny. That's amazing though. One thing that I also wanted to touch base on you with is the importance of what you do, but showing up consistently. What does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, I can provide you an example here of with Coffee Club. When I started in January, I was like, I don't know if anyone's going to show up to this, but like, I have to be okay with that because if you really want it, you have to keep building it and keep working towards it. So like I said, there were people that I learned that didn't come the first time or the second time even, but like some came the third or fourth time because they were like, I just couldn't make it to the first two, but they wanted to come. Yeah. And so I'm like, that's really cool. Like what I'm doing is actually making a difference and you know, making a positive, something positive. I also think that like continuing to show up for folks builds trust, and it also makes them want to give back to you or back to your community that you're in as well. So like, for example, you know, I've done all the coffee clubs. We've done the progressive dinners. We did the chili cook-off. And then in addition to those, I usually host like a Christmas party and a little like April, you know, drinking in the park. Sorry if that's illegal.
Prosecco in the park.
Prosecco in the park.
I'm still scarred from 2 years ago.
There's always this year.
It was unplanned. There's
always next month.
It was so unplanned, that first one.
Oh, that's what made it so fun.
I got a concussion. Everyone, I got a concussion at the first Prosecco in the park.
You know, it banged then.
We just have to like talk about Prosecco in the park for a second and how it came to be. And Connor's just like really spearheaded this. And I think he had his head in the clouds a little bit that day because I don't think
I had been drinking.
Yes. And I don't think he realized how drunk other people were. And so we were just like, let's have a park day.
Yeah.
We'll bring some snacks. There will be a bottle of
Mind
Prosecco.
you, that was like a mom and dad, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but like I had binge drank that whole weekend pretty much. Like from Thursday night through like to Saturday, and then Sunday was like recovery, and we still drank, I think.
But
we had it on Sunday.
We had it on a Sunday, and I will never. I'm so sorry. You can invite me to Prosecco in the park in the future. I don't know if I'll be attending.
We'll make it on the Saturday.
This first Prosecco in the park 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. I don't know exactly how many years it's been. It's been 2 or 3 years, and we go through the first bottle of Prosecco fairly quickly, and so then our friend Jeremy and I thought it would be a good idea to go to Piggly Wiggly to not just buy 2 more bottles of Prosecco, but we bought everyone 2 bottles of Prosecco each.
Remember that.
I think we had 14 bottles that we flew through.
I think the total for the day was 19. Yeah. It was like 16 or 19.
It was disgusting. There was only like seven or 8 of us there.
No. It grew. Remember that?
Yeah, because we were inviting people as they were coming to the park.
Yeah, there were people walking by. We're like, come get a drink.
Yes, that is so insane.
We had like new people that were like, sure, okay, random person, I'll take a mimosa from you. And I'm like, how are you?
Honestly, one of the greatest days of my life, but it took a turn when Kendall, Jeremy's boyfriend, decided to try to jump over me unprompted, unwarned. And I'm sitting there crisscross applesauce on the park ground. And next thing I know, I have a knee directly between my eyeballs. And I went to the doctor. I had a concussion. I was out of work that Monday and Tuesday, partly because I was still hungover, but I had a concussion. So anywho, I'm a little scarred.
Prosecco in the parks are really fun.
Prosecco in the parks are a staple community event every year. You need to make sure
your insurance is up to date before you go to Prosecco in the park.
Exactly what I am saying. No, but you really do build trust when you show up consistently. And Connor, I would say, showing up consistently to you is one of the things that you look for the most in a friend, and it's what you try to put on display for everyone to see. And I'm not going to out you, or actually I am going to out you right now. Connor called me out a few months ago. We're going to talk about it. No, it's not embarrassing. I appreciate it. It's a good story. Oh no. Because like my life is so hectic with work being remote and the podcast is remote. But then on top of the podcast, I'm doing TikToks, and everything I do, I'm either traveling for, I do it in my apartment, and I don't show up for people the way that I need to. And you being this glorious, wonderful, pure person that you are really pointed out to me the importance of showing up and being communicative and like showing up for the people that are important to you. And there's just this through line. Like, I think it shows your character because you do it with your individual friends and then you put it on display with these events that you host. And it's a lesson that I hold very near and dear to my heart. And it's something that I think everyone listening should take away from this conversation is just the consistency and showing up for people, how it builds community, it builds trust, it makes you closer to the people in your life. I am so appreciative for that because I never had like a wake up call like, Chad, you're kind of like being a little flaky and like aloof.
I did
get with it. And it was a conversation that needed to happen. And I'm so appreciative for it. And it's just the importance of showing up for people and the trust that builds.
Well, I'm appreciative of you for listening. I did not know you were going to bring that up, but like,
oh my God, it's one of the greatest lessons of my life.
I was going to say, I still stand by what I said because I love you.
It's the greatest lesson of my life. What can I say?
You know, I'm just grateful for you for listening, and we've all grown from it. So it's funny. I was going to say that, like, I learned recently, I listened to another podcast recently.
Not this one, y'all. He doesn't listen to He's Not Wrong.
Oh God, no. Who does? No, I'm kidding. No.
Tell that person, that one person listening in France,
yes,
Connor.
Yes. Bonjour. That, you know, with friends that you want to keep, that like maybe the relationship is I don't want to say rocky, but like it's distant or whatever. It's like you sometimes have to be the bigger person and not keep score.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had already had talked through our thing, but like I'm realizing like with friends that live far away from me, like back in Indiana and stuff, I'm like, I can't keep score. Because I still love those people. I know they love me. It's just I'm not going to see them all the time. The next time I'll see them is probably their wedding or probably Christmas time.
Or the funeral or something.
Yeah, but the best thing is we're going to pick right back up where we left off. Hopefully I'm not going to their funeral because we will not be picking up. Exactly. I might be a pallbearer and pick them up, but you know, you gotta laugh sometimes. But that is consistency, is like knowing that putting in the effort still matters, even if it's not reciprocated. But like, I think everyone knows that's just important to still do it because you think it's valuable and you think it's important.
Yes.
Why would you want to stop that?
But I bring up that conversation that we had and the lesson that I took from it and how important it was and is for me, because there just seems to be this conversation, or our conversations rooted in building community. And it's so easy to get lost in your phone in the digital world. Everything that I do is digital. All the meetings I have are virtual.
Yeah.
The people that I talk to every single day about like the podcast work that I do, it's digital, it's virtual. It is not real life.
Yeah.
And it was an important reminder that you can have your community online, but your community in person is just as important.
True. So true. I mean, I've got, you know, some new friends on TikTok now even that like have seen my story, and it's also made me realize, hey, I probably need to be a bit more conspicuous with how I'm talking about my particular community.
Oh my God, Connor, when you posted your video with the invites, I literally paused the screen because I have to text him to tell him, don't put your address on the invite.
Yeah, no, I took that off. I took that off. But I'm like, hey, moving forward, I'm being real smart about this now because the internet can be an interesting place for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a really cool place, right? Where you can meet a lot of new people and engage in, like, you know, you like that thing, I like that thing too. This is great. Let's be friends. So that's really exciting. I am an IRL person though. Like, exactly. I thrive. Like, my battery is charged around people. So even like when it's over Zoom, I'm like, yeah, like I got to hang out with people, but like it was virtual. It wasn't in person. I couldn't like hit your shoulder when I crack a terrible joke, or you know, I couldn't serve you food or something like that. Like that's like my love language is quality time. And so, and love languages go not just for romantic relationships, but also for friendships and for, you know, acquaintanceships and stuff. So I just like, that's how that works for me. I'm more IRL, but like I also recognize that it's important to maintain, you know, online relationships too and friendships. I mean, if that's like how you're going to keep up with your distant best friend.
Yeah.
Like my best friend lives in Colorado Springs. And her address is, but like we, you know, we'll text a lot. We'll send each other memes and stuff and like reels on Instagram, but, we don't FaceTime as much. But like the other night I just randomly FaceTime her and she called, and like, we've just been FaceTiming a lot. We saw each other when I was in Vail, a few weeks ago. And so it's just like, again, you pick right back up where you left off with those kind of people, even though it's like online for the time being, but like in person always trumps online.
So I so agree. It was a reminder I needed. It's a reminder I have to continue to remind myself of. We're just realizing things, you know.
Realize.
I'm just realizing
your cute
things.
jeans. Yeah.
No, you're cute jeans. What are cute jeans? God. Yeah. Anywho, Connor,
I love a good stupid quote. Obviously.
You do. I'm outing you and Jared again now. I have never outed Jared on the podcast, but I'm outing him now. I'll clip this and send it specifically to him. But like we get together sometimes, and if Jared has watched a show at any point within the last 30 years, he remembers every single word from that show and or movie and or song or movement from said movie or music video.
Yeah. It is heavy on the dance.
It is something that I have never seen anyone be able to do before. His memory retention from just watching something once and being able to recite.
It's like photographic memory.
It is incredible. The most insane thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Got like an Alan Turing over here. Like
it's crazy. I'm going to have him come on and we're going to have to play a game, and it's just going to be like, I'm just going to name a movie and he's going to give me the entire script.
I can do that though. I can do movie and TV because I was raised on that. Like we watched movies my whole life growing up. And so like anytime, like especially around my family, we're like, we'll say something stupid and you know, everyone will look around and they're like, what? I'm like, name that movie. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Goonies. Devil Wears Prada. Julie and Juliet. Like, you know, like obviously.
Yep.
Dummy.
I'm horrible when it comes to remembering shit. I'm horrible.
And that's the thing is that my 3 brain cells work really hard when it's
movies. Yeah. There you go. There you go. And you know what? I hope another takeaway from this conversation is Connor, lean in. Lean in, Connor. I hope another takeaway.
Sorry, first podcast. You know, you're taking my podginity. So edit that out.
Oh, I'm not. This is my goal with this one was it was going to be a no edit podcast, so we're keeping it in. It's just going to be straight go through, but.
While we're at it, if we're not going to edit, I'll put in my social security. So you have to edit it out.
One thing that the viewers don't know, the camera is here. There is a monitor here.
Yeah. So I unfortunately keep looking at the monitor. I apologize.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just so we know we're in focus, we're in frame.
Yeah.
Another takeaway from this podcast episode is that I'm going to clip this part as well. There's just going to be a lot of friend clips. So I'm going to send Jeremy a clip to remind him of Prosecco in the park. I'm going to send Kendall a clip to let him know that I have not forgotten about the concussion. I'm going to send a clip to Jared to let him know I'm still aware that you're capable of doing this.
What are you going to send to Dillard?
He doesn't get one.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't get one. No, he doesn't get one.
I'm not even Catholic.
But I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Well raised Catholic, but I think the saying is once a Catholic, always a Catholic. So all I'd have to really do is like go to confession and then they'd accept me back in. But I don't know if I'm ready for that.
I've got family here that's Catholic and you know, I go to their church service and it is beautiful. But I'm like, man, my knees, I got to work on my squat because like we are up and down.
I will say, and I haven't forgotten, we're going to get back to the fourth,
the 16th thing that we were talking about
fourth
today.
And final clip that I'm going to send to a friend, but you're going to have to wait for that one. Because I have to say this one thing that I really appreciate about the Catholic Church. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who are really progressive that listen to this podcast that like don't agree with me on this. And listen,
you might be wrong.
Do not agree with a lot of what the Catholic Church does. Almost like, I can't get into it right now. I believe if you fully, number one, I believe in a separation of church and state fully.
Right.
And I do not believe in Christian nationalism and how people are blending politics with Christianity. But if you fully followed like the tenets of Catholicism, I do believe that you would be voting Democrat.
Really?
Because you would be focused on everyone but yourself. But the other side is very focused on themselves and no one else.
I need to do my research then. I mean, I just haven't opened a Catholic. Is it Catholic Bible?
It's just
the Bible.
Yeah, it's just Bible. Probably the NIV is probably the best one that the Catholics would probably recommend. The NIV. Mm-hmm. No, but one of the things that I really am fascinated with Catholicism is just the fact that it is like from a government political standpoint, they were like a government. Mm-hmm. They are a government.
Yeah.
The history runs so deep.
It's actually kind of cool.
The world history around it is so deep. Now, I don't condone the majority of stuff that they've done throughout the centuries. But I just think being a history nerd myself, being a political nerd myself, it is just so interesting that you can trace Catholicism as like a head of state, as a power, as a world superpower, as a military. All of that is so fascinating to me. Whereas like with Baptists, you just trace it back to one person that got pissed off and was like, I'm going to start my own church.
Yeah. Hey, Mormons.
So anywho, so the fourth and final clip that we were talking about, Sam Starr.
Yeah, love Sam Starr.
I'm sending Sam Starr this clip.
Samantha.
I think everyone who listens and watches this podcast knows who Sam Starr is. If you don't know who Sam Starr is, they were on the last season of RuPaul's Drag Race. They're a local Birmingham queen. I've been trying to get Sam on the podcast for a while.
That would be so good.
We have DM'd about it. We've texted about it. I've gone to Al's Just to Corner
him
about it.
Will you have Sam in drag?
Sam, whatever Sam wants. If Sam wants to sit here and do makeup and do my makeup with me and just like kiki. So I think Sam doesn't want to talk politics, but the beauty of this episode is that I'm using this as my example, as my tape, as my reel to show Sam
like in person we can do this.
It doesn't have to be politics. We can literally.
We talked about building community. We did talk politics for a second.
But you didn't offer anything. You stayed silent.
I did.
You didn't offer your opinions on it. I took it to politics and you brought it back to center. I won't do that to Sam.
I said, hey, community. We got to focus on community.
Yeah, I won't.
We're talking about practice here.
I won't. I will not do that to Samantha. I won't do that. So this is my clip for Sam. I want to get Sam on. I want them to know. We can talk about
Sam. Please come on. That would be so fun. Do his makeup. That would be so cute.
I want to follow Sam in the monitor. I want to try to. I want to emulate what Sam's doing. Yeah.
Okay. Connect the dots. I love it.
We'll see. We'll see if Sam comes on. Sam has confirmed that they'll come on, but then when I try to set the date and time, then they don't respond.
Okay.
So we're like 90% there.
Right. Well, I can't wait to watch that. I can't wait to watch my episode. So
I hope you listen to it.
And listen to it. Yeah. On our vidcast.
That makes me want to throw up. It literally makes me want to throw up. Connor, when I end an episode, because you don't listen to the podcast, so you wouldn't know this, I don't think.
I listen to the episode or the podcast.
To the episode. Which one out of the 56 episodes now? I listened to the episode.
When did you start the podcast?
1 year ago exactly. So let's.
Oh yeah, you did. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, I did do a He's Not Wrong for You years ago.
Oh my God, I completely forgot to bring that up. Connor did. Oh, before we end the episode, we do have to revisit that. Okay. Connor learned the hard way that you have to filter yourself.
I realized what TikTok was really like before I got on it.
As most people know, you can call into the podcast and leave me a voice message about what it is that you're not wrong about. When I do solo episodes, which I haven't done one in months, and the idea honestly freaks me out, but I use those voice messages for those episodes. Yeah. And so Connor called in, and little did Connor know that I clip those and put them on social media. Well, he read people to filth when it comes to wedding registries.
I fully did. In the moment that I sent you those, the
audio, yes.
The audio, I had just confirmed my RSVP to 2 weddings and had been perusing the wedding registry. And I was having a fit with what was on the registry.
And you don't have to get into it.
I'm not going to get into it, but like I was having a fit with what was on the registry.
But it still is on my TikTok if y'all like go search enough.
Search deranged man complains about wedding registry. I like decided I was like, this is my time. Because you had asked me recently, you were like, will you come up with a He's Not Wrong? And I said, yeah. So I sent it in and you posted it. And then you were like, honey, you're getting roasted right now. And I was like, what? So I went to Instagram and TikTok and looked it up and I was like, oh, so this is not going over well with people. I was essentially like having concerns over putting large ticket items and really small ticket items on the wedding registry. And again, I have since changed.
Connor has grown and Connor has changed.
I have changed. I have, I've done it all. And I've gone to a few more weddings to realize that I was wrong. I might have been the first person to have been wrong on your podcast, by the way.
I'm still standing by everything I said on those episodes. I'm not backing down. I'll just double down.
Yeah.
But so you've learned a valuable lesson with your call-ins.
With the call-ins. I need to be more mindful of what I say because I love those people whose weddings I went to, and I was like,
so I'm
such an idiot for like making that public. But like, it was kind of funny to talk to one of the couples at one point. I was like, oh, so you saw that? I was like, oh my God, so I was actually going to go off the face of the earth.
Some of those comments were so funny, but I will say, I misread what I did because I genuinely felt so strongly about what it is that we're talking about. And again, we're not gonna revisit it, but it is still live on one of the episodes. Go find it. I'm not giving them the episode title because frankly, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
good problem to have.
But go listen to the other episodes, you'll find it. It's still on TikTok. You gotta scroll, maybe watch all the TikToks and whatever.
Good idea.
But I misread that because I really believed in what you said. And I thought there were going to be a lot more people agreeing with us. And so for your shock at what the comments were, it was shared. Okay. I will say that much.
Yeah.
So this is my public apology to you for putting you through that because I misread. I completely misread that. I did not think that was going to happen the way it did. Apology. Thank you. So as you're aware, because you have listened to the episode, we end with guests about what they're not wrong about.
Yeah.
So Connor, to end out this episode, round it out, end it, whatever you want to say. What is it? Oh, I'm going to have to edit. I'm holding true to my word. I'm not going to edit.
Okay.
I'm just going to fix my horrible speech impediment.
From the rip.
Connor, what is it that you are not wrong about?
That is a great question. I only got like 3 minutes to think about this before I came on the pod, but I also should have been ready because if I was going to be on your pod, I should have known that I was going to be answering.
You just outed yourself again. You don't listen to enough episodes. We're going to offline about that, Connor.
Hey, I can only have so much politics in my life, but also it's important to, do that. I literally actually had one on my way here that I was thinking of. Okay. I'm not wrong that I think Jeffrey's gay.
I don't think you're wrong about that.
I know if you see this, like, and if you are with your man tonight, I like totally get it. That is good on you, girl. That man is gay.
Is that called a lavender relationship?
A lavender marriage. Yeah.
A lavender marriage.
Yeah.
I believe he is gay, and I believe,
or he could. If he's not gay, he's a metrosexual.
I think he's gay, and I think Ina knows it, and she's a very big LGBTQ plus ally. Yes, I think she's an ally, and I think she accepts it, and I think that is very lovely of her. And I know it's not okay to like assume people's sexuality or like whatever, but it is so obvious. People have known it for years. I'm not bothered by keeping this on the podcast. But what I am for is outing the people who are dangerous to our community.
Yeah.
And really, they don't get to ruin the LGBTQ plus community lives while actively benefiting from hiding in the closet. So this is dedicated to Lindsey Graham. His gay ass needs to go ahead and come on out. I'm not going to say we're going to open him and welcome arms.
Waltz on out.
But I'm just like, life would be so much easier for him if he just came out. They would leave him alone. I feel like Trump wouldn't hold things over his head. He wouldn't have to like fake an act or anything. Yeah. So anywho, this was dedicated to Lindsey Graham because I'm not wrong that Lindsey Graham, senator from South Carolina, is gay as hell.
I saw a video the other day that compared him to Leslie Jordan. Rest in peace, Leslie Jordan. Of saying like, "Daddy, look at my twirl, look at my twirl." They're like, "This is Leslie Jordan when the doors are closed," or "This is Lindsey Graham when the doors are closed." I'm like, oh my God.
I can see it.
I can see it too.
I can absolutely see it. Well, Connor, this has been a treat. Thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate your time. When you come on a second time, because you don't listen to the episode, so you wouldn't know this.
I do.
But when you come on a second time, you're a correspondent to the podcast. I'm in the process of making a webpage with my correspondents' faces. We have some fun people.
Wait, I'm a correspondent?
When you come on a second time. So you have to start listening to the episodes and like engage, and we'll have you on a second time.
Okay.
And then you'll be a He's Not Wrong correspondent.
Okay. Awesome. I'm so excited. Do you want to tell them where they can find me?
You can tell them.
You can tell them,
Connor. Connor, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Connor Sanburn, ConnorSanburn. It's like sunburn, but with an A.
His links will also be in the description of the podcast episode. So
I just love that part at the end of every podcast. They're like, where can they find you? And they're like, you can find me at Big Mac Daddy on TikTok and Substack. And I'm like, that's a crazy name. We're not on the same side of Spotify, are we?
I don't use Spotify.
What do you use?
Apple Music.
Hey, it's been so good to see you. Thank you so much.
And on that note, I will see you guys on the next one.
Okay. Love you, Chad. Thank you.
Love you too, Connor.